If you use Semrush or Semrush or whatever we're calling it these days for your AI visibility reports, you need to listen to this. So I did a case study comparison a couple days ago. Today is April 16th, 2026. I used two tools. I used Semrush. I cannot bring myself to say Semrush. I use Semrush because I already have a subscription. It's the tool I've been using for like 10, 15 years, whatever. But I have told my clients, as an AI visibility expert, I have a strategist firm. It's called LSX Partners. I also speak about this topic. I have been telling my clients when they said, okay, how are we going to measure this? I said, we can use Semrush like to start out. Yeah, let's get the toolkit. But I really think there's going to be a mixture here, and we have to do some manual research as well, because this landscape is changing so fast that no tool is going to have everything that we need. And I was right, 100% right. So I just started using a tool called Spyglasses. Amazing for this. It does awesome AI visibility reports. I've only like skimmed the surface of what it offers. But what I did was a case study using one of my clients, and I did the AI visibility report in Semrush in their AI toolkit, which is an add-on. I don't even know how much it is, but like I think it's not like $10. It's a significant add-on. So I did the report in their tool, and I also did one in Spyglasses. And all of that aside, I add on my own audience intelligence to it because we can't just rely on tools for this. So first off, Semrush said their perception, like their brand performance for the client, my client, the headline read, they are leading across platforms up to 85% versus 84% with their competitive perception. Basically, is my client showing up in these answers related to their product offering, or are their competitors showing up? So that's a pretty good headline. If I was a marketing manager, or if I was working at an agency preparing my report and the next steps of our strategy for one of my clients, I'd be like, heck yeah, that's pretty darn good. But when you click through with each of the different AI platforms, the picture that you see is different. Like for Perplexity specifically for my client, a competitor had a noticeably longer bar in their chart than my client did. And I have all of this. I'll put the link to my article where you can read about this in the description. So I think that's really important, where if you're using some of these tools, headlines that you have might be misleading, or they might be totally covering up an issue that you need to address. Then I ran the AI visibility report on my client in Spyglasses, the tool that I recently added to my stack. They had a glaring 0% share of voice in a very specific and important query for them, like what the product was, literally what the product is designed to solve. So thankfully, I'm digging deeper and I'm looking into these things. So we're not just trusting some number, some AI visibility score, or yeah, cool, we're 85% over our competitors. I'm getting specific queries, share of voice. There's also this concept of grounding searches that are like grounding keywords that are not keywords that you or I would ever type into Google. However, it is literally what our robot friends are using, our AI platforms are using when they are doing fan out queries to answer questions related to your brand, your product, whatever. So me doing these different audits is like showing huge gaps that very big tools have, and people are just assuming that this is a good tool to use because it's Semrush. I've used it for, like I said, a decade or longer. So of course, or I don't have time to dig into this. Awesome, the tool I already use has an add-on. Let me use that, done. I now have the answer from my boss, or I now have the little tidbit to add into my analytics report or the deck that I need to present. But we cannot trust these tools. They do not have the depth and breadth of like knowledge or reporting that you really need for AI visibility and optimization. So I'm really happy that I learned about Spyglasses. It was actually because the owner reached out to me on LinkedIn and did like a show and tell, and I was immediately like, yes, like give me 14 more. I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this. And then I spent my Tuesday evening doing a comparative case study so I could write about it, because I don't talk about theory with this stuff. You know, Perplexity is citing this. I like actually go and apply it to real brands so I can have hard like proof to show people, but also like to show myself and to teach myself. So I'm not just taking different platforms' word for it when I'm going through these processes for my client. So I think that's super big as we are in this space of AI visibility, optimization. It is changing rapidly. For example, if I was talking to you 6 weeks ago, I would have been like, Reddit. Now I'm putting this video on YouTube because YouTube is cited so heavily by certain platforms. So you need to really be on top of this AI visibility game. You need to have like a dedicated strategist, because I'm sorry if an agency is like, oh, okay, we really need to focus on this now. Like our clients are starting to ask, or we need to fold this in. Having someone spend an hour or so a day, even that is probably a lot for unbillable hours. That's, 5 hours for the week to start digging into this. You are not going to get what you need fast enough. Or they're just going to scratch the surface and they're going to think that the stuff Semrush is giving you is like everything you need to optimize, when it goes so much deeper. There's so much more to this. It's not the same script we've been following. It's not all about your owned platforms. It's really about how AI establishes your brand identity across different platforms that you don't control. Communities, product reviews, or it's structuring your content on your site so it is actually extractable. And one last thing before we end this video. I kind of like went on a tangent from what my original thing was the comparison. Now I'm like getting into actual optimization, but I'm going to close with this. If you're starting to learn about AI visibility and optimization and you want to start to integrate it, the first thing you do should not be to write a new pillar page that is optimized. The first thing you should do is audit all of your current content on your site and optimize it accordingly. Create definition blocks, create proper schema, all of the things where AI can actually extract it. If you are just doing new content, that's just a shiny object that you're putting on top of a broken foundation. That's all I got. Follow for more. Click the link in the description, read my LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff.